Hello, everyone, and good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. I am Tamana Bawa, one of the newest tech partners here at Triple Whale, and I'm super excited to be hosting today. I'd love to know where all of you guys are tuning in from. Please drop it in the chat. I'm based in Port Moody, British Columbia, but today I am actually in Toronto. So, yeah, Asha Hall, Zurich. Wow, awesome. Winter wasteland of Akron, Ohio. Montreal, I love Montreal. I love Juliette et Chocolat in Montreal. Dallas, wow, Portugal. Beautiful. Miami, Toronto. Wow, we have some awesome, awesome places. Los Angeles, Indiana. Oh my goodness. Jacksonville, Florida. Love it. Indiana, amazing, amazing. All right. Well, welcome everyone to Triple Whale's Whale Watching. Now, this is our go-to web series where we dive deep into best practices, tips, and tricks to help you take your brand to the next level with insights from top industry experts. We have an amazing panel for you today. And today we're tackling an exciting topic, which is the must-know e-commerce trends for 2025. So over the course of this session, we're going to explore actionable strategies and insights to ensure your brand stays ahead of the curve this year. By the end of today's webinar, you're going to walk away with a clear understanding of the key trends shaping 2025 and best practical steps to implement them for maximum impact. So let's get started. Now, today we have a phenomenal lineup of speakers joining us. You're going to be hearing from Adina from Okendo, Aaron from Fermat, Triple Whale's very own Aaron Watt, a friend of mine, Ben from Postpilot, Aaron from Brit Branding. Sorry, let me say that again. Aaron from Bit Branding. Say that 10 times fast. Sarah, another friend of mine from Aftership, Greg from Google, and Josh from Curio. And good news, this session is being recorded. So if you need to take your dog for a walk, if you need to grab a quick snack, if you need to step away for a quick bathroom break or anything in between, please don't worry because you won't miss a thing. Everyone who's registered and attending today's webinar is going to receive the recording right to your inbox. And that's not all. Here at Triple Whale, we love to shake things up and reward our amazing attendees. So we've got some fantastic giveaway items courtesy of our fabulous speakers. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably wondering, like, how can I be one of the lucky winners? And that's a great question. I'm so glad you asked because the #1 way to score one of these awesome prizes is by getting active in the chat. So here's how it works. I'm going to be choosing winners by blindly scrolling through the chat. So the more you participate, the better your chances of snagging a prize. And if you got a question, I want you to drop it in the chat. You want to share your thoughts or throw in some emojis? Go for it. And even if you just want to agree with something a speaker says, pop it in there. Trust me, it'll save me from the awkward scrolling of an empty chat. I want to make sure that this webinar is even more fun and engaging for everyone. So please, again, participate, send some emojis. Send an emoji right now, in fact. All right, so let's keep the energy up. I want to introduce our amazing first speaker. So without further ado, let's dive in. First up, joining me on stage is Adina, and she's from Okendo. Adina is the Director of Partner Relations at Okendo. She's been with the company for 3.5 years, and previous to that, she was actually the head of strategic partnerships at a digital marketing agency called Mute 6, where she was working with Shopify's best agencies and technology partners in the space. Adina is based in LA. I hope you're safe where you are. And she has her MBA from UCLA Anderson. Adina, I will let you take it away.
Thank you so much. Go ahead and share my screen. And thank you for asking. We are doing okay and we're safe here. So hope everyone on the call who's based in LA is doing all right as well. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining, and so excited to be the first speaker today. Um, you know, as mentioned, my name is Adina. I'm the Director of Partner Relations here at Okendo. And Okendo helps brands grow faster and more efficiently by turning their shoppers into super fans. This is our mission. You may ask, what is a super fan? A super fan is anyone that is really engaged with your brand. They're leaving you a review, they're taking your surveys, they're engaging with your loyalty program, and they're also referring their friends to shop from you. It's really anyone that is bought into your brand. And we do this through our customer marketing platform. We have a suite of 5 products: quizzes, reviews, loyalty, referrals, and surveys, all amazing tools. And we work with actually 15,000 customers. So 15,000 brands on Shopify and Shopify Plus use Okendo to power, either the reviews, strategy, or loyalty, referral, surveys, and quizzes. Some of these brands you might recognize. Some of you might be on the call today, which if you are, please drop a note in the chat. Love to see who on the call is our clients. And this list is constantly growing, which is exciting. Today, I'm going to talk about some key trends that we're seeing. First is retention over acquisition. Second is hyper-personalized experiences. And third is tech stack consolidation. The first trend, retention over acquisition. A fun stat for you all: 77% of consumers say they're more likely to remain loyal customers to a brand if it offers a compelling loyalty program. So you really want to make sure that you are motivating your customers to engage, return, and spend more with a customized VIP tier system. So a tiered loyalty program versus just a regular loyalty program really helps brands stand out by enhancing their customer relationships, and really working on that customer retention effort compared to some of their competitors in the market. It involves establishing different loyalty levels, different tiers based on customers fulfilling certain tasks, whether it's, meeting purchase thresholds or engaging with your brand in certain ways, maybe participating in specific activities. It really helps you kind of engage with your brand in a 360-degree view versus just spend, with your brand. Here on the screen, you'll see an example from our client Sabo. I actually love this brand. If you've never heard of it, check it out. Really cute clothes. And you can see here that they have 4 different VIP tiers. They have the weekender, they have the member, they have the resident, and then they have this secret tier, which only gets unlocked if you have a certain spend threshold. So gamifying it really does help you engage with your customers even more. We also recommend, surprising and delighting your VIP members with personalized messaging, whether that's through, SMS or email. That really does create experiences tailored to their unique needs. We have amazing integrations with various platforms on the market. I'll take Klaviyo as an example. We have an integration with Klaviyo to send personalized messages to your loyalty members. You can sync Okendo loyalty properties such as VIP tier, points balance, how many points they've spent, and use that to create custom segments within Klaviyo for personalized marketing. It's a really huge strategy, and we absolutely recommend it. Brianna, I see your question in the chat. Yes, we do integrate with Attentive as well. Another stat for you: 37% of people are highly influenced to purchase based on family and friend recommendations. And referrals convert 4 times higher than the average rate of all acquisition channels. So we really recommend utilizing, a referral program to maximize repeat purchases by offering those referral rewards that keep customers coming back, and also using the referrals to tap into new customers. We know that with rising customer acquisition costs, it does become a bit higher or harder to find those new customers. And that's actually something that the College and Co, this example on the screen, did face. They were having issues, tapping into new ways of finding new customers, and they needed to find a new way to do that. So they came to Okendo, and they seamlessly now send their referral requests to their most loyal customers, turning them into, going back to the first slide, super fans. They actually migrated to Okendo referrals from another platform and saw an immediate impact of 9.7% conversion rate. They also saw a 20x in ROI from the referral program just in the first 90 days of launching with Okendo. Second trend that I want to talk about is hyper-personalized experiences. 80% of people are more likely to purchase from brands that have personalized experiences. And personalization can drive a 10 to 15% increase in your overall revenue. So it's really important to create those guided shopping experiences that help customers make smarter purchases and accelerate new sales. On the screen here, you'll see an example from Snell Golf, a client of ours that is utilizing Okendo quizzes. So you'll see here on the screen, it says, take our ball fitting quiz. They ask their customers certain questions and create those tailored recommendations based on the responses. Not only does that allow you to guide your shoppers to select the right products, it also allows you to increase your average order value because, someone that may be coming to your site looking to purchase one thing may actually purchase several things because they feel like it is a personalized recommendation for them. And lastly, you can also use all the information that you're collecting with Okendo quizzes to create segments in your email marketing or SMS platform, such as Klaviyo, Attentive, Postscript, and use that for segmentation and personalization. A huge tip is to utilize your most engaged channel, your post-purchase channel. 100% of people check their post-purchase page, right? They want to know, make sure it went through. They're probably already checking to see if they have a tracking number. So it's really important to maximize that channel and use it to collect additional information from your customers. Here on the screen, you'll see an example from Eastern Standard Provisions. They are utilizing a post-purchase survey using Okendo, and they're asking their customers, what's most compelling to you? And here, that's where you can collect customer preferences, behavior data that you need in order to power those personalized, impactful marketing strategies. Last but not least is tech stack consolidation. This is a huge trend that we're seeing moving into 2025. We know that brands want to streamline their operations, and we want to make it easy for them to deliver those seamless experiences with our unified customer marketing platform. It's really tough to app hop, right? It does take a lot of time. It isn't very efficient. So we want to make things much more efficient as far as saving time and creating a more seamless experience. And by using one platform to power these various marketing channels, it does become more cost effective as well because you are cutting costs by using one platform. And we offer bundle discounts if you do use more than one product versus just using a one point solution where they might be charging you a maximum amount because that's their only source of revenue. We also integrate with over 65 of the best of breed tech apps in the Shopify space, some of whom are on the call here today, which is great. And I have a case study here on canine ballistics. they switched over to Okendo in order to consolidate their tech stack. They were using another provider for reviews, but they realized that they needed to use a quiz because they have such a large product SKU that their customers were often getting overwhelmed and they didn't know what type of dog bed to select. So the team, they were doing their research and they realized us, coming upon Okendo that we offer not only quizzes, but also reviews and surveys, as well as loyalty and referrals, which they, can choose to sign up with down the line. And because we offer all of that, they saw the benefit in consolidating those functions under one platform. So they switched over to Okendo, and they saw a 594% increase in conversion rate for customers who viewed reviews versus those who did not. Of course, they took advantage of our, highly customizable, um, very good looking reviews widgets compared with their previous provider. They also saw they saw 22% of their revenue influenced by Okendo reviews, 13% quizzes conversion rate, which is a huge number, and a 13% and a 22% of their revenue influenced by Okendo reviews, which I already said. But just some really great stats here. And if you want to dive deeper into the case study, you're welcome to find it on our website. And I have a special offer for everyone here on the call. You're welcome to receive your first 30 days of Okendo for free across all of our products. So reviews, surveys, referrals, quizzes, and loyalty. Feel free to reach out to me. Emily has posted my email address in the chat, or you can reach out to me over LinkedIn.
Amazing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Adina. The chat totally blew up. We have so many people who are using your platform, tons of different questions. I'm so glad that you posted your contact info because I know a few people were asking to reach out to you directly. And there was one question in particular. Someone was asking, how can they get more reviews on their website? Do you have any tips and tricks for that?
Yeah, great question. So we have a number of tips that we recommend when it comes to collecting more reviews. One is make sure you're incentivizing your customers to actually leave you a review. I think if you're asking for something, it's nice to give something back to that customer. So you can offer discount codes, coupons, loyalty points in exchange for that review. We also recommend utilizing our integrations in order to collect those reviews. For example, if you do have someone's phone number and they have consented to SMS, we definitely recommend sending them a review request via SMS. We know that a lot of customers are mobile first, so that's a great tip as well. And then lastly, just make sure that you're following up and reminding those customers for those reviews. You're making it easy for them to leave the review. And yeah, I would say those are some of my tips.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are able to stay on a little longer, there are still a ton of questions in the chat, and it would be awesome if you could, give some responses because there is a lot of stuff that everyone can learn from each other.
Absolutely. I sure will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so let's see who the giveaway winner will be. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to kind of scroll through the chat right now. And the winner will be receiving a Brewmate gift card worth $75. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Brianna, am I saying this right? Walselman? Did I say it right? I hope I said it right. Well, congratulations. You are the winner. Our teams will reach out to you after this webinar so that we can get your information to send over that gift card. All right, let's move along. Next up, we have Aaron Orendorf from Fermat. And by day, Aaron is the VP of growth at Fermat. He's an e-commerce, which is an e-commerce experience platform that lets you create funnels the same way you create ads. By night, he runs the operators newsletter with D2C's fastest growing 9-figure brands. Previously, he was the editor in chief of Shopify Plus and VP of marketing at Common Thread Collective. His work has appeared on the New York Times, Mashable, Entrepreneur Business Insider, Success, and more. And I'm sure he's going to throw this in the chat. His Twitter and his LinkedIn info. And he's a sucker for DMs about bunnies. So I think what experience you have. Like, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I think, yeah, we're all going to learn so much from you. So please, Aaron, take it away.
You stack all of me into, yeah, that short of a clip, and boy, we are good to go. I sound like a big deal. All right, let's
You
get
are.
this
You are. Take it away. Thank
fired
you so
up.
much.
There it is. All right, all right. Yes, I am Aaron Orndorff, VP of Growth at Vermont by day, Operators Newsletter by night, vermontcommerce.com. You can come check us out. I'm going to be talking about that create funnels the same way you create ads, in particular focusing on how do we go beyond the ad click. So this is a trend pushing back against a very uncomfortable trend that it is never going to get less expensive to acquire customers. Also, quick note, I just went full screen here. So if you have any questions along the way or if something goes super sideways, I'm going to lean on our wonderful host to just hop in and holler at me if something goes really wrong. Let's hope it doesn't. Okay, beyond the ad click. Right now, I've got my marketer speak here of getting personalized through your offers, personas, and value propositions. I want to be really, really focused in the time that I've got with you today to be practical about offers, number one, personas, number two, and value propositions, number three. So that's what we're going to bucket all of the examples that I've got loaded up to show you exactly what this looks like to take somebody beyond the ad click. But I'll do you one better because the trend this is really pushing back against is there are two words that will ruin even the greatest ad you will ever create. And those two words are wait, what? We've all been there, right? Uh, I'm scrolling, my attention gets captured, I'm drawn in, I click, and then I mumble under my breath or it's in my head from the click to wherever I just arrived. Wait, what? Right? I was looking at boots. Why are these shoes? I was looking at t-shirts for men. Why am I now seeing women's sweatshirts? I was looking at a dog chew toy, and now I'm facing down a bunny litter box. Right? It's that subtle. Wait, what? The disconnect between what happens in the ad platform to grab the human and what happens next. So we're going to be overcoming those together through offers, personas, and value propositions. Okay. Now, to break down offers, I'm going to use True Classic as my very first example. Probably needs no introduction. One of the fastest growing men apparel brand in the history of D2C. All right. So I'm going to give you an example of one of their more successful ads. Now, this was launched last Valentine's Day, and it's been in the ad account ever since then. He's never looked so good. Now, one of the things I love about this ad is it's very focused on its primary audience, right? You can easily identify, am I in this ad? But there's also sprinkled all throughout it this idea of bundle and save. So what True Classic does so well is they unite not only their audience, but also the offer with what happens next on the landing page. Now, everything I'm going to show you is run through Vermont because that's what I'm here to show you. But the principles can be applied using any platform outside of maybe the custom PDPs that I'm going to walk through. So you can see that the ad creative literally continues onto the landing page, and then it stacks through 1, 3, 9, 6 in the merchandised collection right there. Okay. So we've got an ad for bundles, followed by a bundle and save landing page, followed by an embedded PDP with, wait for it, a bundle. And if I add it to my cart, I get the bundle plus 2 bundle upsells on into checkout with the bundle waiting for me. Now, what I love about this is they have a very large product catalog, but this is dead set on matching exactly what the offer is inside of the ad with the entire funnel experience that follows it to continue that momentum. Okay. This is what we might call a 1-for-1 offer match. Uh, True Classic also does many to one, meaning a multiplicity of creative in the ad account. Here's one of their new customer acquisition offers, the try before you buy offer, only pay for what you keep. Where inside the ad account, there's risk-free versions of this to try to tantalize and bring somebody in. Same offer. There's also try before you buy with a different sort of creative, focusing on the customer reviews, 150K, right? But in every single one of these situations, it's going right to a very tightly knitted, pun intended, try before you buy landing page, followed by the try before you buy product with $0 as the price point, and try for free there in the purchase option itself. Same thing in the cart. Same thing once you hit checkout. So there's no surprises along the way. There is a clear, congruent through line. Now, Laura Geller does almost the exact same thing, but instead of going 1-to-1 or many ads to one, what they're doing is many to many. Right? Now, notice here on this, the makeup made for mature skin. So I want to walk you through 3 of theirs still on the offer front. Here we've got the 5-minute makeup routine, which is a very clearly marked ad, no longer a video. Now we've got a still into a sort of listicle, long formish article on the 5 reasons why, embedded videos along the way, what the steps of the routine look like, on into, right? No surprise, the product that matches with, and I want you to notice this one too. We've got our daily routine 4-piece set selected with porcelain shade. And so the very first thing when you click add to bag is a pop-up to get the porcelain shade that matches in the correcting foundation, followed by brushes. And then it's matched again once you hit the cart itself. Porcelain, porcelain, all the way through, aligning so that there's no wait what all throughout of it. Right? This is a great example of sort of a younger demographic that they're now going after, because remember, it was for mature skin to begin with. All right, so this is their it went viral on TikTok video ad into the lower price point color correcting foundation. Same thing, if I scroll through the landing page here, we've got an easy to identify buy box, some complete the routine options, and then on into the exact matching product. Upsell this time with Blending Beauty brush set to go with that foundation, both when you hit add to cart, add to bag in the pop-up, and when you hit the cart itself. Right. Last one, the baked starter kit. And yeah, hopefully you're picking up on a pattern by now. This tight inner relationship between what grabbed my attention, new to bake, we've got you covered. Now we're right into a traditional 5 reasons why advertorial. We hit the bake starter kit. The upsell changes to match the color once again, this time putting the foundation up in the number 1 spot, followed by the Blending Beauty brush set to go with it. Okay, so that's offers is what I'm talking about. Matching the offer from the ad to the offer in the landing page, all the way through the rest of the funnel. Right? Now, Fresh Clean Threads takes this personalized approach, but they do it through audiences, because in a lot of ways, just like True Classics, Fresh Clean Threads began as a men's apparel brand, and now they're expanding their market into women's apparel as well. So in their ad accounts, what we have are women focused on women, or we might say women selling to women, where when the ad that catches my eye is for the tees, and this is one of their top performing, the buy back rolls. This is one of those, it just hits, let the market decide. I have no opinion on that headline, except that it works. But it's women selling to women in the ad, women selling to women in the landing page, followed by a women's product PDP, a women's upsell. If you grab the V-neck, why not also get the crew pack on into the checkout? They also did this all throughout the holidays of women selling to men, or what they called their women gifting to men. And this is very reminiscent of the first one we saw, right? With like the couple in the ad from True Classic. Here, the landing page, the creative continues with the video, but this time we're over into, because it's women selling to men, here are the men's products with that crew neck. Why not get the polos? And then their bread and butter, which is men selling to men. But in this case, I want you to notice how even this ad is a subset demographic, strong dads, strong tees. Right? So very, very similar when it goes then to the 5-pack with the polo upsells. See that along the way? Here we've got the audience now, is what I take away from this. Expanding who we can reach and making sure there's no wait what in between each step. Okay. Number 3 is value propositions. And Armra, of all of Fermat's customers, does this absolutely the best. Now we're on top of health and wellness, primarily their colostrum immunity revival product. So this is a screenshot of their homepage. Now, Armra does this with starting why value propositions, right? It's the next generation bioactive whole food health revival, leading to a quasi short form 5 benefits of Armra. Right? They're also testing that against value propositions writ large. So different ad, longer form landing page, still focused on from the 5 to the 10, this case, reasons why the entire health supplement industry, and it keeps selling out. Okay. And here's where it gets really savvy. This is what Armor does so great because they use their top performing landing pages when they launch new products in both the long form and the short form. So notice here what happens, right? It's an ad for the general, a landing page for the general. Headline stays the same, but here the product is replaced with the new product launch. And this is a comparison between the 2 product pages that you will be served inside of this funnel. One for the lower count, lower price point of just the sticks versus the second one, the main staple there, the immunity revival jar, subscribe and save. So they're matching it all throughout. Now, what Armra knows is there are also 3 big sub benefits within their large 5 reasons and 10 reasons. And then it comes down to they've got ads that are targeting people who are struggling with hair related issues. So one of the big benefits is hair. And rather than just bury that inside of one of the 5 or the 10 reasons why, they built out entire ad sets, campaigns, and landing pages, funnels to go after hair itself. They do the same thing with skin and beauty. Notice, there's not an enormous change in the look and feel of these 2 landing pages, but it's a wild difference in the content of what they're going after, how they're framing the value proposition all over the same product. And then third, they also do it with bloating. Bloating ad, bloating landing page, off through the rest of the funnel. And then this is just one of my, I always love to throw this one in here because it's just one of my favorite ads that I've ever been served from Armra, the Have You Pooped Yet? Talk about a showstopper. All right. So going from beyond the ad click, okay? I want you to walk away with persona offers, personas, and value propositions. I'm going to take my screen down now. We'll find out if I got any questions along the way.
That was awesome. Your energy is infectious. Like, you have brought a lot of joy to my day. So thank you for all the good energy. I see that the chat is buzzing. There are questions. So if you have the chance to stick around, please try and respond to some of them. And otherwise, I think all of you have Aaron's info. So feel free to reach out to him. Remember, he likes bunnies. So DM him facts. Was it facts about bunnies or pictures of bunnies, or was it something completely
Joe,
different?
you bring some bunnies into my inbox or my DMs in any shape or form, as long as it's not sad bunnies, we'll be friends.
Done. Okay, you guys heard it here first. So I am going to quickly go through our chat and choose our next winner. This winner is going to get a buffed bundle. So can I have like a silent round of applause? Drum roll, drum roll, please. All right. Okay, who do I have here? Gianna, did I get that right? No, Janina Blackman, you are the winner of this prize. Awesome. Congratulations. All right, let's move along to our next speaker. Now, next, we actually have Triple Whale's very own Erin. Erin is my colleague, my friend. She is such an expert when it comes to all things Triple Whale. So please, let's give her a warm welcome in the chat. And Erin is a dedicated tech partner manager at Triple Whale. Drawing from her background in sales and management, she collaborates with tech partners to offer valuable guidance and support to help expand our customer base and integration offerings. Beyond the office walls, she finds her joy in the great outdoors, immersing herself in various activities depending on the season. So, Erin, I will let you take it away.
Thank you so much, Thamana. And hello, everyone. Once again, I'm Erin Watt, one of the tech partner managers here at Triple Whale, and I am thrilled to kick off our very first webinar of 2025. And of course, alongside our amazing e-commerce partners, and of course, with all of you beautiful people. We have over 200 people in this session. Guys, this is amazing. So really, really happy to be here. And today we will be focusing and exploring how insights from BFCM 2024 can drive success and set you up for a strong year ahead. And to help, our beautiful marketing team has also created a free BFCM retro report packed with insider insights to help you crush your 2025 goals. So while I will be covering some of those highlights today, I do recommend downloading the report for the full picture, and I will share that link at the end of the presentation. Also, we have our wonderful and beautiful Director of Tech Partnerships, Mia, in the chat, and she will be there to answer all of your questions during my presentation. So please make sure you do add your questions in the chat. Now, before we dive into the data, we might have to answer a question that might be in some of your minds. What exactly is Triple Whale? Okay, so Triple Whale is your all-in-one analytics tool that consolidates all of your data into one very user-friendly centralized dashboard. It also integrates with major ad channels and platforms. So think Shopify, BigCommerce, Google, Meta, and also tools like Okendo and Gorgeous. So it can really provide you with a holistic view of who your customers are, where they came from, what they bought, and of course, how much it costs to acquire them. And today, Triple Whale is proudly the source of truth for 20,000 plus stores. And here are a few of just the amazing brands that we get to work with daily, achieving some extremely impressive results as a Triple Whale customer. So we got brands like Milk Bar, Doe Lashes, Avi, Portland Leather are just a few examples. And if you did want to learn more about their success, or maybe you want to explore other brands, we do have a whole section of case studies on our website. I will also be happy to present that link in the chat after the presentation as well too. Okay, so now that we're familiar with Triple Whale, let's dive into the exciting part of the presentation, the data. So last year's BFCM exceeded expectations. So Triple Whale brands generated an impressive $2 billion in revenue over one weekend, with over 300 million in ad spend tracked on our platform. So for perspective, Shopify reported about 11.5 billion in BFC revenue, and Triple Whale brands contributed a remarkable 17% of that total. So our BFCM data also revealed some key trends, starting with an influx of new customers. So new customers drove about 60% of total revenue, generating about 1.2 billion in sales. We also noted that clothing and health and beauty were the standout industries, accounting for over 50% of total revenue. And lastly, we saw that TikTok has actually matured as an ad platform, really evolving into a major advertising powerhouse. So we observed an impressive 46% increase on return on ad spend, while the average order value actually surged by 35%. Additionally, this platform, we saw some key metrics like cost per mil, cost per acquisition, also cost per cost, all decreased, making ads more cost efficient as well as efficient on this TikTok platform. Okay, so while these highlights are extremely impressive, understanding how the landscape has evolved since BFCM 2023 and then what it means for 2025 does require us to dive deeper into the data. So let's just start with breaking down the new customers versus returning customers. So as I mentioned, nearly 60% of revenue came from new customers, reinforcing BFCM as a prime type for acquisition. Now, the remaining 40% of returning customers is equally vital, especially for established brands. So this balance between new customers and returning customers varied across GMV tiers, offering insights into where brands are in their growth journeys. So when we look at growing brands, so think of brands that are at that 0 to 1 million GMV, they really leaned heavily into acquisition with 66% of their revenue coming from new customers. So this focus just really reflects their need to establish a foothold and also attract new customers. And then when we look at the more established brands, so think about brands about generating 10 million plus GMV, they just saw a larger share of their revenue, about 45%, from returning customers, indicating loyal shoppers really waited for BFC deals to actually make their purchases. Now, what does this all mean for 2025? Well, brands should really tailor their strategies to match their growth stage. So while BFCM is a powerful driver for customer acquisition, the real opportunity lies in retaining those customers and actually building customer loyalty. So, to transform those holiday shoppers into loyal customers, brands can expand loyalty programs to incentivize repeat purchases. They can also leverage predictive analytics to identify and also engage high value customers. And they can start segmenting audiences. So, you can create a BFCM newcomers cohort and then use AI driven product analytics tools to recommend their next likely purchase. Okay, so now let's explore industry trends by just taking a closer look at the industries that led the way, which is clothing and health and beauty. So together, these sectors really accounted for over 50% of all BFC revenue, highlighting their strong alignment with seasonal demand. So the clothing brand industry really kind of excelled with a low CPA, so cost per acquisition of $22 and a high AOV of 105, capturing about 30% of revenue with a ROAS of 4.6. And then when we take a look at health and beauty brands, they really captured the largest ad spend, achieving a 3x ROAS and an AOV of about $71, proving their ability to boost cart values. And what does this exactly mean for 2025? Well, the clothing and health and beauty brands will continue to dominate the share of revenue in the DTC space. So, as advancements in technology and social commerce continue to evolve, these are going to be the industries that will really benefit most from improved social commerce. So, this will include virtual try ons or augmented realities or owned channel engagements, and then also cross channel marketing. Okay, so now let's quickly turn our attention to ad performance metrics by platform, where brands actually invested over 313 million to drive an impressive 2 billion in revenue. Okay, so we noticed that brands kind of took a really strategic approach to ad spend with Meta, so think Facebook and Instagram, dominating at 68% of the total. Google Ads actually followed in second place with 23%, though it did also reflect that it was a 4% decline compared to last year. And then we did notice that TikTok also did experience a significant drop in ad spend share. So they saw about a 20% decrease as budget actually increased, shifted more towards Amazon. So what does this mean for 2025? Well, ad spend competition will remain intense on traditional platforms. That's no surprise. And what we're going to anticipate, though, is that brands are going to start exploring more alternative channels to lower costs, but also expand their reach. So when it comes to Meta, we do expect it to remain dominant as many brands have mastered its ad platform, and it will really solidify as that top choice for a lot of advertisers. Google Ads will continue to excel for high intent searches, driving strong conversion rates despite a decline in efficiency. And Amazon is poised to capture more ad spend and cementing its role just really as a go-to destination for product searches and high intent shoppers. TikTok will really be that platform that attracts new advertisers with its lower CPM, CPA, and CPC, offering really cost-effective option for brands looking to diversify. And then emerging platforms are really going to start gaining traction. So beyond TikTok, advertisers are going to start experimenting with platforms like AppLovin, which is more gamification, connected TV, Pinterest, Reddit, and Snapchat, just to tap into less competitive spaces. And no Triple Whale webinar would be complete without diving into some post-purchase survey results and also uncovering how AI has contributed to brand success. So we know that post-purchase surveys provides direct customer feedback, offering really invaluable insights into what drives conversions. So during BFCM 2024, we saw that post-purchase survey helped brands uncover which campaigns truly drove purchases, often revealing unexpected insights where credited campaigns weren't actually the drivers. We also saw that Meta stood out with over 40% of responses confirming its strong role in conversions. And then we also saw that a significant portion of responses really fell into that other category, just really showcasing the importance of asking clear, specific survey questions. And then finally, 14% of responses came from organic sources. So think of like a referral from a friend, emphasizing the value of strong organic social media strategies. And then what does this mean for 2025? Well, attribution is rarely straightforward. And by integrating zero-party data, brands can just really gain a clearer view of the customer journey. So these surveys will also help to enable accurate attribution so that you can invest in the right channels. It will also provide product feedback to refine or inspire new ideas. And these surveys can also help you get just a really complete picture of customer behavior beyond those surface level metrics. And before we wrap up and go over to our predictions, I just want to quickly explore how AI played a critical role during BFCM. So, in a really fast paced holiday environment, the brands that leveraged real time data were the ones that were able to make smarter, faster decisions and also were able to just drive exceptional results. So here's an example of some of the data points showcasing moments when Triple Whale customers actually leveraged real-time insights to adapt on the fly, boosting their outcomes and also driving more revenue. So many of these real-time insights were actually powered by Triple Whale's AI assistant, Moby. And during BFCM, Moby became a really valuable tool for brands, delivering answers within seconds, whether it was analyzing campaign performance, identifying top performing products, or just adjusting their ad spend in real time. Moby was just really able to help empower brands to make smarter and faster decisions, ultimately boosting their outcome and their maximum revenue. So what is ahead for 2025 when it comes to AI? Well, AI isn't just a BFCM solution. It really is a game changer all year round. And here's how it really can help transform a lot of your workflows. So it can help with personalized product recommendations based on likely purchases. It can also help with real-time behavior-based audience segmentation. It also can assist with dynamic ad budget adjustments based on performance. It can also look at new and creative ideas generated from successful campaigns and also provide UTM tracking to optimize high converting ads and also landing pages. Okay, so before we wrap up, I did want to really quickly look at what the Triple Whale experts are saying and what they're predicting for 2025. And these are going to be our top three. So our first prediction, is from our head of consulting, John Coyle, who believes there will be an increased reliance on AI, but not for creative. So AI excels at tasks, but lacks human authenticity. So top brands will focus on creating genuine, human-centered content. So as AI-generated content grows, authentic messaging for real people will become increasingly valuable. And then our second prediction actually comes from our very own co-founder and COO, Max Blank, who sees a rise in social commerce. So advancing technologies, shifting behaviors, and deeper social integration will really elevate social commerce. AI will also enable personalized shopping with visual searches, virtual try-ons, and also predictive recommendations. And as we look ahead, interactive live shopping will let users engage and purchase seamlessly within their favorite social platforms. And then lastly, our third and final prediction comes from our CRO, Zach Rigo, who envisions a future of platform diversification. So with rising costs on platforms like Meta and Google, platforms like TikTok, Pinterest, and AppLovin, and X are really key to lowering CAC. And as younger audiences move to more gaming and entertainment focused social medias, brands also must adapt. So, and then the last thing is prioritizing own channels like email, SMS, and loyalty programs will further reduce ad reliance and strengthen customer relationships. And that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. As I mentioned earlier, Mia will be there. I also will stick around afterwards. And then lastly, don't forget to grab our BFCM Retro Report. So as I mentioned earlier, this presentation only scratches the surface of the insights that we gathered. The full report will dive that much deeper into the data, offering even more valuable strategies to help you succeed. Definitely worth a download. I will add it to the chat right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erin. I know that day after day, I learn something new from you, all things triple whale. So everyone in this chat, I'm not joking when I say use Erin as a resource. You know, she is just a wealth of knowledge. So thank you so much. And now, before we move on to our next speaker, I would love to give away our $100 Visa gift card. So here we go. All right, Charlotte Robinson, thank you so much for participating and congratulations. And now, one quick thing before we move to our next panelist, I just wanted to mention that this is actually being recorded. So, you know, if you need to step away again, we will get that recording to you right after this call. So not to worry. I know we've had that question a few times. Just want to address it before we get to our next speaker. All right. Ben Walter, he is the head of partnerships at Postpilot. Spearheading partnerships at Postpilot, Ben built the program from scratch, now managing a network of over 500 agency, integration, and referral partners. Prior to this, Ben was a founding team member at a fintech startup fueling the growing Canadian SMB market. Postpilot is Ben's return to D2C as he found his passion for the industry while working brand side at Indochino, a leading global apparel company. And Ben is committed to driving growth and innovation in the D2C space. So recently I've been talking to Ben more and more. He's one of my partners. Love every time we get to chat because he just he knows so much about the tech space and about all of these different amazing companies and different tips and tricks. So Ben, I am going to let you take it away. Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thanks so much for the kind introduction, Tamina, and great to see you, all you beautiful e-commerce people. Don't step away just yet. I know this session is recorded, but you don't want to miss this one. I guarantee it. Super excited to be talking about some trends as we head into 2025 for the e-commerce space. And I'm actually going to be talking about one key strategy as well. I'm pretty excited to be talking after Erin because she did a nice job teeing up kind of the two trends that I'm going to be speaking about. So that'll allow us to touch on this at a little bit more of a high level. And then we can really dig into this one strategy. It's going to be a unique strategy that's going to be a blend of the two trends that we saw here at Postpilot coming out of 2024 and heading into 2025. And so I'm super excited to talk through that. Now, if you're not familiar with Postpilot, really quick, we are your partner of choice if you are looking to launch direct mail. If you've not done it in the past, come to us. We'll make it happen for you. If you have done it in the past and you're looking for a way to optimize your direct mail program, Postpilot is going to be your go-to. So we are a fully integrated Shopify partner. We integrate with Yotpo, Klaviyo, Attentive, many more. We are fully done for you. We print everything in-house. We've got full design services, full account management. So we are the experts. So if you're interested in direct mail, we're going to talk a little bit about it today. Come to Postpilot. We've got you covered. So looking back at 2024, right? Coming out of the 2024 season, here at Postpilot, we saw a really busy Q3, Q4, really busy holiday, BFCM, really positive indicators that 2025 is going to be a big growth year for e-commerce. And so I hope that you are all excited about that because we sure are. Now, the first trend that I want to talk about, and this was something that Erin was touching on and some of the team at Triple Whale has really dug into, is that brands and industry leaders, whales like Nike, J. Crew, are looking to diversify and divert dollars away from Meta and Google and really seek out new, old acquisition channels like direct mail. Now, this does not mean that brands are turning off Meta, turning off Google, by any means. I did see some comments in the chat box. I saw Sean Cross said 2024 was a bit of a difficult year on some of these platforms, and I saw that comment got some reactions from the crowd. And I've heard that a lot from a lot of brands that are coming to Postpilot and looking for a new way to diversify those dollars away from Meta. And there's no surprise, right? If we think about diminishing returns at scale, overspend in peak seasons, and a lot of the news that came out this year around really the trust that's been broken on performance attribution and coming with overspend and over attribution and these sorts of things, it's no surprise that brands are looking for new ways to lower costs and connect with new audiences, in a unique way that's different than just Meta and Google, which is tried and true, but is not the only option out there for brands. So this is the first trend that we really saw hot coming off of Q3 and Q4. A lot of brands coming to us and asking for, hey, where can we spend money outside of Meta and Google, connect with new audiences? And so that was something that we see, again, moving into 2025. Now, the second trend, also, Aaron, thank you so much for teeing us up, is AI, right? The rapid rise of utilization and product development has really created a space where brands need to be considering AI and how it can help their business. And I'm not going to claim to be an expert on AI. I'm definitely not. But when we consider the advancements that were made in 2024, right, from chatbot apps and generative AI and multi-modeling AI, considering the improvements in all of these different factors, it quickly becomes apparent why so many brands need to be considering this. And many of my colleagues have been, adopting this, development and releasing AI products of their own. Of course, favorites like Klaviyo releasing a suite of AI tools last year. I mean, Aaron mentioned Triple Whale's Moby products, and many, many more are starting to release AI-powered tools. And I'm sure that a lot of us on the panelists today have actually used AI in our presentations in one way or another. So the impact on efficiency when we consider machine learning and data mining and AI-powered customer experience, there's no question that you should be considering this for your brand as well, right? So what do these two trends really mean for you in 2025, the coming year? And I promised you a strategy, right? A blend of these two trends and a way that you can kind of meet and address both. So as we move into, the rest of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and into the holiday season again, how can you really maximize on these and really, obviously drive some peak performance and peak profit this year? So let's talk about this. Old school meets new school. What am I talking about? I'm talking about direct mail. You guessed it. That's our specialty here at Postpilot. So I want to talk about this. Of course, direct mail acquisition has been around for some time. This is not necessarily a new idea or topic, and probably a lot of you have some initial thoughts of what this may look like. Maybe some of you have tested it, like EDDM, every door direct mail from USPS or something along these lines. But here at Postpilot, we have put the AI in mail. All right, you can't have mail without AI. And so I'm going to talk to you about our offering, Acquisition AI, that really enhances the ability to do targeted direct mail marketing that feels very much like the acquisition campaigns that you would run on Meta. So the ability to do lookalike targeting, the ability to test and feed real-time models, and then optimize the performance of these campaigns. And so when we think about direct mail acquisition in their traditional sense, right? I mentioned EDDM, right? Every door direct mail from USPS. If some of you have tried this before, like your sense or idea, is likely, okay, let's choose a neighborhood, maybe a zip code that meets kind of our general guidelines on maybe household income or maybe close to our ideal consumer profile. And let's just blast every single door in that neighborhood, right? Okay, that's our approach. How are we going to do this? All right, we got to collect the data. We got to, create, the designs on our side, find a print partner to do so, send this out. Now we're going to be waiting, weeks or months to get back that feedback if this actually worked out, if we can even get the feedback back. No, forget about that. That is not how we are running direct mail acquisition in 2025. Acquisition AI Postpilot is your solution that is the complete opposite of this, right? So the first thing I want to get you out of that mindset, it is not a, hey, let's just blast a random postal code, let's blast a random neighborhood and hit every single person in there, right? You would not do this on any other platform. What are you going to do first? You're going to define, okay, what is the core customer profile that you want to be targeting? What do they look like? And so this is what we do, and this is what the AI models in our acquisition AI tool are built for, right? We're going to take a sample of your historical customers. We're going to run that through our acquisition AI powered models, and we are going to build a lookalike audience and a lookalike model. Now, from this, we are going to build our target audience, right? And that is when we can start to layer on additional things like geo filters. But we first want to define who is it that we are looking for. And here at Postpilot, we've got billions of proprietary data points that are feeding this model. This is not just demographic data. This is also buyer intent data, purchase behavior, these sorts of things. So we really know who is this individual? What kind of car are they driving? Do they shop at Costco? So it should feel very much like the targeting that we are doing on Meta and that approach, right, of a very defined audience. But the method of actually connecting with the individuals is going to be much different, and there will be positives to this, right? Now, additionally, as I mentioned earlier, we're fully done for you. So we're going to do the designs. Obviously, the fact that we do everything in-house allows us to launch a lot quicker. And because we're integrated with Shopify, that's going to allow us to get real-time insight into the performance of these campaigns as folks are coming off of the direct mail, making purchases, and then, of course, coming into Shopify. So acquisition AI, the most powerful prospecting created for direct mail, better data, better models, better performance. Get out of that old way of thinking. How are we taking advantage of AI and diversification of dollars in acquisition? We're using acquisition AI. And we know it works, right? The numbers are there to show it. We've got some awesome case studies on our site. You can read more about those. I'll link those out after the session today. But we are seeing consistently higher CVRs versus other industry benchmarks. And this is against other big data providers, Epsilon, those types of folks that you may be familiar with. Our data is proprietary here at Postpilots. It's going to be a completely different data set that you're building off of. And we know that it performs better by comparison to those models. We're going to launch so much faster than any other traditional way. If you're interested in acquisition via direct mail and you've thought about EDDM, for example, don't do it. Come to us. And of course, our data sets are massive. We've got over 200 million consumers that live in this data set, billions of attributes. I already talked about the kind of attributes that we have in there. So this is definitely where you want to be if you're going to be testing out this channel. And if you're still cautious about direct mail, we can talk after today's call. I'll show you the numbers. We'll get you confident. But again, just think about some of these things that I was talking about, right? Moving out of 2024 into 2025, the trends, right? At scale, diminishing returns and saturation, right? How are we diversifying not just our acquisition channels, but really across the board, all of our marketing to really stand out in a space that is digital heavy and definitely oversaturated. One of the things I like to quote a lot of times is that the cost of direct mail, it takes an act of Congress to change the cost of direct mail, right? Because of course we send via USPS. So unlike Meta or Google in peak seasons, you're going to avoid a lot of the fluctuation in cost. And then of course decrease risk doing it in one central place. It's a bit more predictable in some senses, not in all, but definitely we can find more predictability versus a lot of other opportunities out there. So why Postpilot? Take a screenshot of this or just reach out to me after the fact. I'll drop my email. We can talk more about this. But again, fully integrated, massive benefits to that. Fully done for you. If you're like, hey, I don't even know where to start with direct mail, we'll help you with that. And of course, the offering that I talked about today, Acquisition AI, is going to meet those two 2025 trends head on. So I would love to work on this with you. And what are your next steps? We of course have a special offer for everyone who's sat through today and is willing to take the time to learn a little bit more. So when you sign up to Postpilot, we are a month-to-month service, but if you sign up for 3 months, we're going to give you a fourth month free and a webinar special. I'm going to give you 500 free postcards to get started. So again, done for you setup, strategy, creative, and optimization, fully built. We talked about acquisition today, but we also do retention marketing. We do site retargeting, all of this good stuff. So postpilot.com/meet. You can book a meeting with us there, or you can reach out to me. It's ben@postpilot.com. I'll throw it in the chat. But thank you all for listening, and I'm super excited to diversify away from Meta and Google in 2025 and to run some direct mail acquisition with Postpilot.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. And we did have a question in the chat that I was going to ask you about.
Let's
How
do
are
it.
you tracking performance? Does the postcard have a specific link that you were tracking? Can you maybe provide us with a little bit of insight? Because we had a few questions sort of surrounding that.
100%. And if you haven't done direct mail, or if you've done like EDDM before, you may be like, yeah, how the heck are we getting actually direct performance feedback? And we are very data heavy here at Postpilot. And so we have many different touch points to track the performance of these campaigns. So right off the bat, because we're integrated with Shopify, we're going to be able to match back those unique customer IDs so we can see, hey, we sent a card to this profile. Did they convert in our tracking window? Awesome. We can show you that. Now, additionally, if you include a QR or a coupon code on the card, we're going to be able to track direct redemptions or scan throughs. And we, on our postcards, can actually do individual single use dynamic codes or static codes. So something like mail 20 or some, individual random series of numbers and letters to ensure that you're getting validity there. And then the final piece I'll mention, we actually have built-in holdout analysis here at Postpilot. So if you want to see the incremental lift of this channel, because I do recommend targeting audiences that are getting email and SMS as well, we're going to show you, hey, those people that received a card versus those that did not, this is the difference in performance. And so that should really be the ultimate. If you're on the edge, you're on the fence, you should feel really confident about that.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And for anyone who has any other questions, again, Ben's email address is ben@postpilot.com. It's pinned in the chat. And yeah, thank you so much. Let's move along to the next panelist. Actually, before we do so, again, let's go through and see who's going to win this wonderful prize. So today we have a Bays expandable backpack. And to be completely honest, I think I need one of these, but I'm not allowed to keep them. So you know what? We're going to go through the chat again. I'm going to scroll through and see who's going to win this. All right. All right. Drum roll, please. Lion. Congratulations. Thank you for all of your participation. You are the winner. And like I said before, we're going to contact you later. We'll get all your info and then we'll get that sent over to you. So congratulations. All right, guys. Next up, we have Aaron Pearson. He is from Bit Branding. So Aaron Pearson is a digital marketing strategist with over 10 years of experience, specializing in direct-to-consumer apparel marketing. As the co-founder of Bit Branding, an award-winning agency recognized as Emerging Business of the Year in 2016, Aaron has built a reputation for delivering innovative strategies that help brands grow and thrive online. His expertise lies in developing actionable strategies and leveraging the latest trends in online paid advertising to achieve measurable results. Aaron is also a competitive runner and a devoted husband and father to his wife and 2 daughters. His dedication to both his craft and his personal life reflects his commitment to excellence in all areas. Known for his engaging speaking style and actionable insights, Aaron has become a sought-after voice in the world of digital marketing. So welcome to the stage. Nice to see a fellow runner. I am going to be participating in a half marathon this year for the second time. It doesn't get easier, but always nice to see another runner in the chat. So please take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? I know my audio was being a little weird a little bit earlier, so hopefully you guys can hear everything. Let's go ahead and get into this. Okay. All right. Happy Friday Eve. So this is full screen. Please interrupt me as the other Aaron had said if there's anything that's going off on my end. It's not working. But anyway, happy Friday Eve, everyone. I'm super excited and I've learned a ton so far. So it's been fun to listen in. So I hope everybody gets at least 1 or 2 things out of this conversation as well. So I'm going to cover 5 main things that we're seeing right now in this e-commerce space and how you guys can more so leverage that to grow your business. So this picture of me. All right. Biggest thing, this has been mentioned previously. I think it's only going to continue to be a trend. So 80% of shoppers prefer a tailored experience. However, for small and medium-sized businesses, they don't have necessarily the ability to do kind of the scalability of personalization. And so AI is helping with that. There's some software that I would suggest, and just kind of a little bit of background for this, it's called Jupy. It's Juphy. And the way that we have been testing this and we've seen a lot of this happen is it's built on the back of ChatGPT. You can actually train this tool to understand your store. We work almost exclusively with clothing brands, but it's able to tell this person, hey, Jessica, you are looking for a medium in our brand. You actually may need a large, you need to size up. Or, hey, I've got a question about my order or returns, and it's all personalized. It's basically instead of it thinking of it as a chat bot, it's more of a sales associate, and keeping that experience very tailored. It also directly integrates into Instagram. And so there has been, on average, with every brand that we've worked with, a 5x return by bringing in like this virtual sales associate. And so I only see this happening more and more, where AI is helping us as humans be better servants to our customers, especially in 2025. This next one is probably no surprise. I was just going to put Meta here because I'm just a big believer in them. I love them or hate them situation, but there is going to be a lot more ad personalization. Last year, 2024, we saw creative diversity. So, right, you could do an us versus them, like Arma versus I'll say a competitor. I won't call it a competitor. You could see a lot of that type of content, or you could see trending styles from like TikTok, RIP. You could see some some graphics or some doctor type of testimonials, and that personalization did really well. But now we're going to need volume, because a lot of these platforms, Meta kind of being the leader here, as Triple L mentioned, as far as where people spend their dollars, Meta's taking a lot more of that control as far as where these ads are going to be placed. And I would say the focus is more so now, even more so, on the business owner to come up with creative that meets the audience. And so it's going to start burning through that creative a lot faster than it normally would have. You can use different AI tools to take an image and make it a video, or vice versa, but you will need more volume of creative and creative diversity to stand out and beat people. And this is bigger competitors or whomever. I work with a lot of brands that do $20-30 million a year and below. That's kind of our sweet spot, and they are able to keep up with that as well. So I think it's very exciting for kind of the Davids fighting the Goliaths of the world, if you will. So still a fan of the other big brands, but I have a heart for small business. So that's what we're going to see a lot of in Meta here. I think maybe somebody had mentioned this previously. So we are partners with, there's a lot of different ones out there, but we've been partners with Comet Soul for about 5 years now, one of the early agencies. Social commerce in 2020, 2021, and 2022 was amazing, honestly. Most people could start a business and just blow up because there was so much demand for what was actually out there versus the supply, because we were all stuck at home, and we all were basically just scrolling our phones, and they were making a lot of sales. So we saw that trend, and then 23 it dropped down, 24 kind of flatlined, and we see the rise of that in 2025, where more and more people are adopting it. Again, you've seen it with like TikTok Shop as an example. There will be something that replaces it if we don't come to some agreement here in the next couple of days, or whatever happens with TikTok. But that social commerce is only going to continue to grow. One particular example of this is we've had a brand that we were working with. This is spring of 2023. And they were very hesitant, as I'm sure many of you guys are on here, to pull the camera around and talk to camera. But if you are able to show your face, you just have a different level of trust. And trust is the byproduct of getting sale, or sales are the byproduct of trust, if you will. And so the brand came on. They were very hesitant in March of 23 to even do this. And I said, look, let's just do a trial run for the next 90 days. And if you guys hate it, we'll drop it. And so they did. They went live twice a week, just basically telling people about their products. Hey, this is an amazing watch. Or this is amazing jewelry. This is for somebody. This is a great for a birthday or for a gift or whatever it may be. So twice a week. And just like if you are old enough to remember, like, TV shows before you could record them, it's like 7:00 on Thursday, you showed up. And I just told them, be consistent, show up, answer questions, add value. This is a brand that did about $1 million in the end of 2022. 2023, we made about $600,000 alone off of only social commerce. in addition to their actual full revenue. So big believer in that. And I'm a very big believer in just talking to your audience and your customers. If you want to know how to grow, it's always good to talk to them. And this is the best way that I have seen. And I think we will see more of in 2025. Okay, so 71% of consumers prefer brands aligned with their values. I honestly saw like 3 stats for this. So, this was probably a made up stat, but it is a high percentage. My point is not that product A that is sustainable and product B that is not sustainable is going to, product A is going to lose. It actually just means that if products are both of equal value and of equal quality, if one aligns with somebody's values, whether that may be eco-friendly, whether that may be a different like level of their faith, or whether that may believe in like their, maybe they're from Chicago and they also love the Bulls, or whatever that may be. 71% of consumers prefer brands that align with their individual values. And I think that's only going to play out more and more in 2025. So what does that mean? It does not mean, I put this picture here of eco-friendly. It doesn't mean you have to be eco-friendly. What it means is that as a company, big or small, you should share your actual values with people. Doing it through social commerce, doing it through something like Postpilot, doing it through something like your actual marketing funnels, whatever that may look like, you need to make sure that you're sharing your actual values, because people do gravitate towards people that they know, like, and trust. And that's only going to continue. It's just a different way in which we've communicated it. Okay, so omni-channel is the new normal. All right, so 30% of people spend more if it's on multiple platforms. I think this kind of goes maybe as like a no-brainer for everybody in the room, but one of the things that we do know is that um, again, I think I guess my whole conversation is, what are the trends in 2025? More and more people are skeptical of what's going on online because of how easy it is to create an e-commerce business. And so the frequency at which you show up and add value to people and build that trust factor, that is going to increase the level at which you will generate purchases, because people buy from people they trust. When you're on multiple platforms, talking to them in multiple ways, you're able to increase that trust. So we suggest for every brand that we work with, hey, if you can't be on every platform, create for one and then distribute to others. But for those who can be on every platform, create context around the content that you're creating and do it contextually for each place, right? Facebook's different than Instagram, that's different than LinkedIn, that's different than your email and SMS. But at the bare minimum, be in those places and be very, very good at one and distribute for the others. I'd rather you be at a 70% on most platforms and 90% at one, versus I'm just not even going to touch it, and then you lose out on actually seeming as if you are valid. Now, AI may change a lot of this, where a lot more people can be more omnipresent, but we do know that adds a ton of value to people and to customers, the trust factor. All right, more AI here. Conversion. We work a lot with conversion. A 1% to a 2% conversion rate is 100% difference in the business, or doubles the company. So the cost of staying ahead versus falling behind is it's becoming more apparent in 2025. These numbers are probably only going to increase over the next 3, 4, 5 years, where adapting and using AI within the business and making sure that you are taking care of customers is only going to be more, I would say, apparent if you are trying to grow. It's going to be more obvious that you need to make those changes. And you also, if you're not adapting stuff like this, like I mentioned earlier, it's much harder for you to keep retention, because some of your other competitors are taking up the market share as well. All right. And this is kind of a recap kind of playbook. I did I know I'm kind of like right at time, but any other questions, I can answer it in the chat. Also happy to be a resource for anybody who is let me stop sharing. Anybody who is there we go. A direct-to-consumer brand who's not in apparel, happy to be a resource to connect you with the right people. But if you're with on the apparel side, we offer free strategy sessions. If nothing else, we point you guys in the right direction. So appreciate the opportunity, and thank you guys so much. Hopefully, and if there's any questions, I'll answer those in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aaron. There's a lot of love for your sweatshirt, by the way, in the chat. I'm not sure if you saw that, but everyone loves your sweatshirt. So just like, can you just like
Oh, yeah. You're
spread it out
welcome.
and show it to us?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thank you for your wonderful session. I am going to go through the chat and pick someone to win, this time an Amazon gift card. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, who do I have here? James K. Grantham. You are the winner of the $75 gift card. Congratulations. Awesome. All right. Next up, we have Sarah from Aftership, and Sarah has become one of my friends over the last little bit. You're probably tuning in from like, just like 15, 20 minutes away from me right now because I'm in Mississauga. I know you're nearby. So Sarah's a senior technology partner manager at Aftership, where she's been for over 2 years. With a background in sales, partnerships, and logistics, she's all about building strong partnerships in e-commerce, making sure our integrations actually help improve the post-purchase experience. Sarah works closely with our partners to find smart solutions that make life easier for both our brands and their customers. So Sarah, I will let you take it away.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me and thanks for joining today. We've just heard a ton of really, really great presentations. But I am Sarah Kang, Aftership Senior Partner Manager, and today I'm really excited to dive into something that I personally believe every e-commerce business should be laser focused on in 2025, and that's total cost of ownership, or TCO. I actually just got back and returned from the NRF conference in New York, meeting with a ton of e-commerce brands, and this was something that really was on everybody's mind. Just to set the stage, I mean, obviously it's no surprise to anyone on the call, but e-commerce is more competitive than ever, and margins are really tighter, customer expectations are sky high, and every decision about your tech stack can either make or break your overall efficiency, and that's really where TCO comes in. It's not just a way to manage costs, but it's really a framework for making smarter, more sustainable choices for your business. And here's the thing, again, like TCO, it's not just a budget conversation, it's about operational resilience and customer satisfaction. Okay, so let's jump into it. So before I talk a little bit more about TCO and just kind of some of our top tips and e-commerce trends for 2025, I just want to share quickly who we are here at Aftership, and I'll give a little bit of context. So Aftership is a comprehensive e-commerce platform that helps businesses deliver amazing post-purchase experiences. We really simplify tracking, returns, and customer engagement so brands can keep their customers informed and happy at every stage of their shopping journey. We address key pain points like managing shipping chaos, providing real-time tracking updates, and really simplifying returns and improving overall customer satisfaction. Whenever, if you're a small business or an enterprise business, Aftership can really help you build that trust and really ensure long-time customer retention. We actually support over 20,000 global customers all around the world, and you can really see some of the great brands that we support and work with here at Aftership on the screen. Names like Tom's, Gymshark's, Away Travel, and Majuri. Okay, cool. So now that you know a little bit about Aftership and what we do, let's just break down TCO and get the full picture of cost for technology. So really, TCO is that full scale cost, right? Initial price, integration, maintenance, upgrades, even the opportunity cost of inefficiency. Really think of it like building a house. The purchase price might fit your budget, but what about the utilities? What about the upkeep? What about renovations, unexpected repairs, things like that? All of those hidden costs are where many businesses get blindsided. And in e-commerce specifically, this means understanding not just what your tools cost upfront, but also what they cost to your business to manage and scale over time as your business scales. For example, imagine using a tool for shipment tracking that requires manual intervention every time you add a new carrier to your carrier mix. Over years, those hours and really time for your team, they all add up. And TCO is about spotting those inefficiencies and choosing tools that deliver long-term value, again, like I said, as your business scales. Okay. So you may be thinking, why is TCO such a critical focus for e-commerce brands in 2025? And three things come to mind for me personally, and that's complexity, expectations, and competition. So let's break them all down a little further. So let's start with complexity. So omnichannel is no longer a trend, it's really the norm. Customers shop online, in store, on social media, on TikTok Shop, on Instagram, all seamlessly. And that level of integration really puts a strain on your entire tech stack and operational workflows. The next is expectation. So fast shipping, real-time tracking, and frictionless returns. They're not just perks anymore. They're really table stakes for brands looking to make a difference. If your systems are not optimized, it's your brand's reputation that's really on the line here. And competition, margins are shrinking. We really can't afford to overspend or underdeliver. Every single dollar needs to work harder than ever. And focusing on TCO really gives you the tools to navigate these challenges. It's about playing the long term game and really building a tech ecosystem that not only meets today's needs, but it's agile enough to really adapt for tomorrow. And let's talk for a second about what drives the cost of TCO up. And let's talk about a few specific things. So, the first is redundant systems. A lot of e commerce businesses end up with tools that overlap because they've been added reactively instead of strategically. For example, having separate tools for tracking, notifications, and returns might seem manageable, but over time, the lack of integration really creates overall inefficiencies in your business operation and even in your supply chain operation. The next thing that comes to mind here is really hidden costs. So these aren't always obvious upfront costs, things like downtime, steep learning curves, or just poor customer support. These things all add up, right? And then maybe missed opportunities, right? Like this can kind of be a sneaky one. If your tools can't provide insights or streamline workflows, you're losing potential revenue every single day. The goal is to identify tools that solve multiple problems effectively and they integrate well and they provide long term ROI. It's not just a quick fix for one potential issue that comes up out of the blue. Okay, so how can you lower TCO costs without sacrificing quality or performance? And let's talk about some actionable steps for e-commerce businesses in 2025. So the first I would say is really audit your tech stack. Take stock of your current tools. Are you paying for features you don't use? Are there tools that don't integrate well with others? Streamlining your tech stack can cut costs and reduce overall complexity to your tech stack. And then also think life cycle management. It's tempting to ignore maintenance or upgrades until something breaks, but proactive planning really saves you from expensive emergencies. And choose your partners wisely. Work with partners who understand your long term needs and partners that can truly grow with your business. We're talking 3, 5, 10 years ahead. This isn't just about software, it's about that relationship piece. Choose the right partners who are ready and able to support your growth. And lastly, what I'll say here is really measure ROI. Make it a habit to track the performance of every single tool that you're adding into your tech stack. If something isn't moving the needle, it might be time to rethink why you're even using it in the first place. At Aftership, we work with thousands of brands to reduce their TCO by consolidating tools and automating processes. For instance, maybe by combining tracking, notifications, and returns management all into one platform, businesses will save both money and time. And in a second, I'll get into some of the products that we can support here at Aftership. All right, so we'll start with tracking. So I wanted to quickly highlight our main post-purchase products for a moment. So aftership tracking really enhances the post-purchase, experience by offering real-time branded shipment tracking that keeps customers not only informed, but also really engaged with your brand. With features like multi-carrier tracking, proactive notifications, and custom tracking pages, it reduces any sort of customer anxiety, it drives repeat purchases, and it lightens the load on your support team. I'm sure many people on this call, if they work in CX, they understand that there are so many tickets that come through of customers just asking, where is my order? Well, that's what we're here to support with. This translates into a streamlined, consistent experience that increases customer satisfaction, all while lowering operational costs, offering an unparalleled return on investment. And the second aftership product I just want to mention here is our returns and warranty tools. So aftership returns simplifies and optimizes the returns process by turning a traditionally painful experience into a seamless one. By providing a branded returns portal, automated workflows, and clear customer communication, this tool really builds trust while saving time and resources. Whether it's about improving customer retention or reducing reverse logistics expenses, aftership returns really transforms the returns experience into a competitive advantage for your brand, really delivering that value across the entire post-purchase journey. I mean, we've talked about this a bit, but imagine this, right? Like a customer is placing an order, they expect accurate, real-time updates, not silence or confusion from a brand. You really want to get ahead of this. And with Aftership, you're able to have your customers receive proactive notifications from an integrated system, reducing their need and requirement to reach out to your support teams. Now, picture that same customer needing to return an item, right? Like a clunky manual process will really frustrate them. It overburdens your teams. But with Aftership, that automated workflow and that entire process is seamless from start to finish. Your customer will really feel valued and ensure that you secure their overall loyalty, turning them into a lifelong customer. And this is where Aftership really shines, right? As a comprehensive post-purchase platform, we help reduce your total cost of ownership, and really in two ways. We've talked about it a bit, but just consolidation and automation. Instead of juggling multiple tools for tracking, notifications, and returns, Aftership offers an all-in-one solution that really scales effortlessly with your brands. You save money by eliminating any redundancies. You save time with streamlined workflows, and you really just deliver a better customer experience by driving loyalty and improving your own bottom line. Your post purchase operations aren't just a cost center, they're really a competitive edge. And for Aftership, we're not just about lowering TCO, it's about setting your business up for sustainable success in 2025 and beyond. So I really appreciate everyone's time here. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes with me here. And I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, answer any questions. I'm going to drop my email in the chat. So please feel free to reach out if you want to talk about post-purchase and TCO or just how Aftership can help your business in general.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. I noticed that there are a ton of people in the chat who actually use Aftership and they love it. So if anyone's unsure, I mean, just go through these comments, look at what people are saying. We have, I see that there's just like a big following, and thank you for all of the updates and just for some more great information. Guys, if you have any questions for Sarah, her email address is pinned right now. Like I said before, you're going to get a recording of this webinar, so feel free to watch it over if you want to use any of that info. And Sarah, before I let you go, I'm going to go through the chat really quickly and pick someone to win a $75 value Uber Eats gift card. All right. Okay, let's see. Erica LeBlanc, you are the winner. Thank you so much.
Congrats, Erica. Thanks, team.
Awesome. All right, guys, we have two amazing speakers left to present. But before we do that, I want everyone to just take a really big stretch. Let's get some energy and some oxygen in the brain. Let's give these two next presenters the energy that they deserve. All right. Up next, we have Greg from Google. Greg is the Senior Manager of Commerce at Google, and his team works really closely with commerce advertisers to help them grow their business. Greg also helps lead measurement solutions and partnerships within the commerce team at Google. Greg has been at Google for 11 years and previously spent 4 years leading marketing and business development at a patent research startup. So, Greg, let's get you on stage. Let's get your presentation up. We're so excited to have you here today.
All right. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Let me get my presentation going here. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? What are you seeing here? Are we seeing the presenter view? seeing the presenter view. Give me one sec. Let me get this up.
Perfect. Perfect. We see that perfectly now. So thank you so much
We're
for
good to go. All
showing
right.
us like that. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, all right, let's get going. Appreciate everybody hanging on here. I think we're an hour and a half in, and energy still seems pretty good in the chat. So let's see if we can keep it going. I've got 10 minutes here to tell you everything about 2025 e-commerce trends. So I'm going to try my best. Thank you for the introduction. Again, Greg McCalligan here, representing Google, and so happy to be here. I'm going to focus on 4 trends that we see here for 2025. I always like to start broad. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about kind of consumer expectations as we see it coming out of Q4 and the end of 2024, kind of heading into 2025. I'm then going to talk a little bit about search innovation. There's a lot of exciting innovation coming within search in 2025. So going to give you a bit of a peek behind the curtain there. I'm going to talk about YouTube. We really do think this is going to be the year of YouTube. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then what would a triple whale webinar be without a modern measurement, right? So of course, or measurement. So we're going to talk about modern measurement and what that might look like for 2025. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so in terms of consumer expectations, I think the U.S. consumers really re-enter 2025 on a solid financial footing. A lot of this has been buoyed by rising incomes and manageable debt levels. And really, we do see robust consumer spending that has been a key driver for the economic growth in the U.S. so far in 2024. However, this is kind of begs the question, right? Is this going to continue for 2025? Is this going to be sustained? We think yes, but we need to approach this with caution. So several factors do point to continued economic growth. In particular, I think we see a strong kind of job market. It remains favorable. Unemployment rates is still hovering around 4%. Employers are actively seeking to fill these open positions, which is a very good sign. And furthermore, we are seeing solid wage gains, right, which is contributing to consumers' overall financial well-being, which is obviously a good thing for commerce and e-commerce in particular. One trend that came out from 2024, we expect to continue into 2025 is this continued rise of affordable indulgences, as we're calling them. So given the macro uncertainty, there's a growing trend towards these small indulgences versus large ones. So consumers are more likely to splurge on the smaller, feel-good purchases, for example, handbags, think rugs, think perhaps bedding, versus going out and buying a really expensive car, right? So the medium price of top 500 best-selling apparel and accessory products that we saw in 2024, and it was about 13% lower, and this is specifically for December 2024, about 13% lower than it was in December 2023. And then in particular, it was about minus 9% lower for home and garden. So just wanted to give you those trends to kind of anchor points around kind of this idea of what price points and what people are splurging on within these indulgences. Experiential spending is another big trend. I think continues to trend up coming out of COVID. So in Q4 2024, we saw growth for demand in activities and travel. And consumers are seeking out these new experiences. So this is particularly led by Gen Z, as well as millennials and some high income segments that we're seeing across the audiences. And 2025 digital travel sales right now is forecasted to be about up 5.4% year over year, which is pretty big. So again, I think a lot of folks thought and knew we would see that spike post-COVID in terms of experiences and travel. That's sustaining and continuing to grow. So good signs. I think we're all excited about that. But despite these positive indicators, we need to be cautiously optimistic. There's a lot coming potentially in 2025 that could impact these things, could impact consumer behaviors. We've got potential headwinds from tariffs, cumulative inflation. We've got rising interest rates, global economic uncertainty, just to name a few, right? So important that we keep monitoring these factors and stay nimble as we kind of look to kick off 2025 here. Cool. So wanted to ground us there in terms of kind of some consumer expectations. And now I'm going to talk about some fun stuff around search. So search innovation is something that we are particularly excited about and wanted to kind of share with the audience here for 2025. So we here at Google, we really believe that the core of human beings is that we are naturally curious. We're always searching for answers, and we're always searching for the meaning. And that's something that at Google we've understood from the beginning. And this curiosity, honestly, is what has propelled Google for the past 25 years. Yet there are countless questions that people, continue to ask, and they're questions that perhaps we didn't have the right words for, honestly, 25 years ago. Perhaps they're questions that were too complex 25 years ago, and we couldn't get good answers for. And so the idea here that we kind of are anchoring to, which I love, is that curiosity is outpacing technology, right? And that has been the case and will continue to be the case, we believe. So this is why kind of the idea of search is never solved. And it remains, for us, one of our greatest moonshots is that search and search innovation is something that we are continuing to evolve and lean into in 2025. For Google Search, we have reached currently about 2 billion users daily, right? And we see billions of queries each day. Something of note is that Gen Z in particular is one of our, if not the most highly engaged users within Google Search, which is something that may surprise a lot of folks. So with signed in users 18 to 24, they are doing more searches than any other age group within Google Search. And another thing that has held true for more than a decade is that 15% of searches are brand new on Google every day. So there are searches that we have not seen before. And that has been, again, true for a decade, and we continue to see that. You may ask how that is the case, and I think the next few slides are going to answer that question for you. So let's keep rolling. So really the future of search is all going to be based around AI. I know AI is probably, I wasn't keeping the tally, but I'm sure AI has probably been mentioned about 20, 30 times on this webinar so far. And I'm going to mention it a few more times. So here, really the future of search is AI based, and AI unleashing the full potential of Google Search for consumers and advertisers. It includes the type of questions that we ask. It's going to be, and also kind of the way that we're asking these questions, which I'll get into in the next couple of slides. So let's explore a couple examples and these exciting new opportunities that this creates for consumers and our businesses. AI overviews. So it's one of the biggest, most important improvements that we've made to search in the last 20 years. Hard stop. Maybe by a show of emojis, how many of you are potentially experimenting with large language models? Couple? I see a couple. We see more coming in. I see some engagement in the chat. Awesome. So yes, as am I. They're pretty magical, right? They're pretty unbelievable. So instead of the multiple questions to get to an answer, we are leveraging large language models, and we can answer highly complex questions and receive helpful responses within Google AI Overview. So it's an amazing innovation in search because it combines the magic of these LLMs with the core experience of the Google Search ecosystem. It's connecting us to these high quality results immediately in real time, which is pretty unbelievable, something we're really proud of. Since launching in the US, we found that people who use AI overviews, they search more, they're more satisfied, and they visit a greater diversity of websites to help them with these complex questions. The recent rollout so far has been within recently 100 countries where we have rolled out AI overviews to. And right now we are getting more than 1 billion global users every month that are interacting with AI overviews. Why is this exciting for your business? And why is this exciting for consumers? Really, it is ads within AI overviews. So this is something that started to roll out last year and is continuing to grow this coming year. Is that the longer, more specific queries we see in AI overviews are giving us an even stronger intent to match with relevant businesses. So that helps us drive more qualified, more engaged traffic for the business world. And we are seeing that people are finding directly ads within the AI overviews that are extremely helpful and extremely relevant to what they are looking for. And they are able to quickly connect with these businesses and the products and the services and then take the next steps. So it's something that is going to continue into 2025 and be a massive trend for us. Another reason that people are searching more, and this again goes back to the how are we getting 15 million new queries every day? People are leveraging Lens, right? So this is, pardon me. So this is Google Lens. This is basically image searching. So what we've seen is that within Google Lens, people are really they see something and they really want to understand, like within the world, within offline, or if they're on a website and they see an image of something they want to better understand, they can actually interact with that and search using the image. So Lens is used by over 20 billion visual searches each month. It's one of the fastest growing types of searches on Google. And circle to search is a really cool feature within Lens that we are seeing explode in terms of kind of user usability. So we saw users, especially that younger demographic of users, so those Gen Zs, that they are really leaning into circle with Lens, and they're highlighting and tapping to see to do the searches. So with Circle with Lens, we're seeing the higher engagement in the younger users, the 18 to 24. And this is creating an entirely new opportunity to get your ads in front of these consumers at exactly the right moment. And then another stat that I found particularly interesting I wanted to share with you all is that 1 in every 4 Lens searches actually does have commercial intent. So it really is driving purchases. It is driving consumer behavior. Cool. So those are some of the exciting innovations with search that I wanted to make sure I shared with you. So clearly, I think the idea that like technology may be catching up to human curiosity, going back to that initial saying, but right now, and we think this is going to be the case going forward, that curiosity will continue to outpace technology, and that's a wonderful thing. So believe it or not, as humans, we're making 35,000 decisions every day, whether that's what insurance to buy, whether that's where to have dinner, etc. And really, this is information overload. That the goal of search and the innovations in search is that we can help consumers cut through that clutter and make these decisions quicker and smarter. So think about your own behavior. How did you plan your last vacation? Perhaps how did you prepare for your first triathlon? What did you eat? What was the training program that you used? If any of you have kids, I have 2 little guys. Do we remember how we researched maybe finding the perfect baby monitor or the right crib, right? How do we find a first mortgage? A lot of those decisions, if not all of them, were made through search and turning to search to find those answers. So that's something that we're really proud of, and we're going to make sure that as we innovate, we continue to deliver to the world. All right. Number 3. We're going to talk about YouTube a little bit. We are so bullish on YouTube this year. We actually believe this is going to be the year of YouTube. So kind of in the shifting world of media consumption, YouTube continues to provide access to every moment, every screen, and every format. So today's users want choices. They want both the content they watched, they want where they chose to watch it. YouTube is the only platform that seamlessly bridges the gap between short form and long form video for mobile CTV, and gives people what they want on their terms. So YouTube also allows us to go deeper with what we love. So today's users don't want to just watch something. They want to interact with what they're watching. So think about Taylor Swift. If someone's watching a Taylor Swift video and the latest music video, they also want to understand kind of the era's live concert clips. They want to understand fashion breakdowns within the Taylor Swift videos, perhaps fan commentary and analysis, and et cetera, et cetera. YouTube allows for that. It allows for that social engagement while folks are watching videos. And that's something that is a continued trend and something we're going to continue to lean into. For advertisers on YouTube, YouTube really allows them to put Google AI to work to drive growth and efficiency. So when you partner with YouTube, you can supercharge the entire advertising lifecycle. Think of it as, you know, an all at one glance growth and efficiency flywheel, if you will. And it's ultimately going to be fueling the marketing objectives that you care about. And that's the key. We really need to understand what are the marketing objectives. And then once we understand that, we can help you achieve those based on various ways of using YouTube. All right, last one, modern measurement. So this one in particular, I think I feel extremely passionate about. I think when I'm going to go left to right, 1 to 4, in terms of measurement, the most important thing we start with is, are we capturing and valuing the conversion signal correctly, right? With measurement, the solutions and using the solutions that deliver durable performance. So at Google here, what that looks like for us, especially with cookie degradation, is enhanced conversions. I know that looks like there's solutions out there for all different media platforms, but it is important that we are leveraging these solutions to make sure that we are capturing all of that conversion value. From there, it's really about AI-powered measurement and bidding to adapt in real time. So are we using AI? Are we using automation with clearly defined business metrics and goals? So going back to, you know, how we get the most out of YouTube, we need to understand how we are aligning to a business's goals, business objectives, and marketing objectives, and making sure that AI understands that and can optimize to that. Third, and this is the one that I really, really want to focus on, because I think a lot of people are missing the mark here, is ensuring alignment between your media platform and your measurement source of truth. I can't tell you the amount of advertisers that I work with that perhaps are getting a readout from a measurement source of truth and taking it as gospel instead of asking why, right? We really should be asking, okay, if this is a readout, we then should be asking why, and going back and making sure that our media platforms are optimizing to the same goals, are optimizing to the same, using the same attribution, the same windows, et cetera, as the measurement source of truth. And until those are aligned, you're never going to be able to see the high quality performance that we're looking for. So that's a really important part, and really aligning to the source of truth that I think is going to be a trend for 2025. And then lastly, adopting and testing, a testing and learning mindset. We, again, going back to accepting kind of one source of truth as gospel, it is something that I think a lot of us are moving away from, and we're going to continue to move away from that, and really understanding that we need to have multiple tests running. We need to have multiple inputs around to driving our business decisions, and we can't just trust one source of truth. It's important to have a primary source of truth, but we need a secondary, maybe a third, multiple secondary sources of truth that are also informing, and we need to continue to test and learn based on that. So I'm going to stop there again for kind of trends that we're seeing for 2025, and I will throw it back to Triple Whale.
Thank you so much, Greg. Really appreciate all of that insight. Now today, Google has provided us with a giveaway of a Nest Audio smart speaker. So I'm going to go through the chat quickly and find our winner. All right. It looks like it is Melissa Cazell. Congratulations. All right, guys, we're going to sprint to the finish. We have our last presenter today, Josh. Josh is from Curio. And Josh Avon is a driven entrepreneur and the CEO of a thriving digital marketing company. Renowned for his strategic leadership in high-level social media and brand strategy, Josh has been instrumental in driving innovation and growth across the industry. He has managed some of the largest social media accounts and campaigns in history, including a record-breaking post that gamered over 15 million likes. One of the most liked posts on Instagram. With over $1 billion in media ad spend under his advertisement, Josh has delivered impactful marketing campaigns for Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, and D2C brands. His commitment to excellence, creativity, and continuous learning underscores his approach to both business and life. And I'm sure he is going to tell you all about it in this session. Josh, please take it away.
Hey, thanks everyone. Great to be on, and yeah, I really appreciated what Greg was saying from Google. Actually, it was kind of a perfect setup for what I was planning to talk about today. I think one of the biggest trends that I'm focused on in 2025 is how are we going to increase the consumer data that we're both looking at for model attribution, meaning how are we tracking conversions? What is the degradation of cookies, SDK data access, first party versus third party data? How are we going to get a source of truth that aligns with a direction that we can then action on? So when we're getting data that says Meta does this, Google does this, Triple Whale uses attribution modeling that says it's doing this, what are we actually going to then action and make decisions on to spend the next dollar to make it profitable, to make it successful, and optimize against? The first section that we'll talk about today is enhancing your customer data profile. So some of you might know customer data profiles. See, I'm going to try to share some stuff here too. We'll see how this goes. I have a case study that we wrote with a partner. So we'll try to, nope, that's not quite the right one. I have a better version of this that I will get. That's what happens when I click it wrong. So enhancing the customer data profile basically will lead to your ability to look at the CDP, which is the customer data profile, and enhance that with other data. So right now, if you're looking at your own customer data through things like, Klaviyo, also with Triple Whale, any first party Shopify, data that you have available to you, you're going to be able to go and see, a decent amount of data, but not all that data is then being actioned on and being put back into your targeting profiles. So what we want to do is run that through sometimes third-party systems. So we did some case studies with a partner company called Angler, and actually it transfers really well into Triple Whale and helps enhance it. That I'll kind of get into so you can understand some of the differences in how attribution tracking matters and then what the solutions can be behind increased targeting. So this was the difference, basically why sometimes your meta attribution and your Triple Whale attribution doesn't match. And can everyone see this? Yep, just making sure I'm good on that as I direct it. So, as brands are using Triple Whales with multi-touch attribution, versus, and this is going to focus specifically on Meta, and that's where, personally, we've spent the majority of ad spend, for any client, even though that's definitely been spread out significantly over the years. What we're going to see consistently with Triple Whale is a lower return on ad spend and ROAS in there. And why is that the case? And a big part of this is the depreciation of browser URL parameters. So that parameter that's being put in there in Triple Whale, and you're putting that into your ads and everything else, is coming through. But it's coming through, and then only if that UTM parameter is actually being triggered is when you're getting the attribution for multi-touch. So it doesn't always work as cleanly, but what it does really well is it's identifying a largest lift. So it's giving you a lift aspect that can give you kind of behaviors that can determine where you want to spend future ad spend. But Meta, however, because they're still using pixel data and they're using their own enhanced customer data profiles, they're matching that data across all sorts of different behavioral triggers, like your email, your device ID, any pixel data, if you're logged into any of the apps and browsers that you're sharing data with. And so it's able to unite the data much better. But Meta also is going to give itself a preference. So they're giving, for example, if you're using like 7-day, click data or 7-day view, well, you're usually going to use 1-day view if you're using a default parameter. But if you're using 7-day click, it's going to be highly beneficial, to Meta to encourage you to spend more. So you want to look at both Meta's algorithm and Triple Whale's algorithm to help you discover like where you should place additional ad dollars in the future.
So one of the issues is this cross-browser, cross-device user journey. So customer behaviors are, rarely linear. We might see an ad that's served to us on Instagram or Facebook or elsewhere. We may not action on that first ad, so we think about it. We might type in the address directly later on, or go into Google. We might use the in-app purchase. We might then go into Safari or Chrome, complete that purchase. And as users move from one session or device to another, a new session cookie is created. And right now, a lot of that session data is treated as organic and it's disconnected from the original Facebook ad interaction. And using the different browsers, the link between the sessions and the user is not always initiated in action. So that's why you're going to see a lot lower data almost always in our experience if we're using the multi-touch attribution tools. Facebook, because of the way that it can track the data across so many different devices, users, and IDs, it maintains a significant advantage. Now, again, are we going to always trust it? I would encourage not always, but we want to make sure that we're using it in a significant way to track that next marginal utility of dollar. I'm not going to go into the technical side, and I can share this later as part of the case study, is exactly why the UTM parameters versus Facebook user data profiles don't always match completely and correctly, right? But we can get into that in a deeper session. But the biggest one here is the multi-touch attribution that Greg was signaling on in the last session for Google. It's a complicating side. We all run ads for any major company across the major digital platforms and accounts that we can. Which one actually attributed to the sale? Which one was the most? Is it the first touch? Is it the last touch? Is it the middle? Where are we actually going to be like subscribing our source of truth and going the degradation of the trackability of what we used to be able to do, say, prior to 2021 has been significant. And so now we have to look at things as these directionally correct. So as we look at the data, for example, in Meta, if someone has served an ad on Instagram and Facebook, they interact with that ad and click through, they didn't buy. Now let's say they sign up with a discount code, and eventually maybe they get an email, let's say, from one of the partners, and that email then is actioned and then complete the purchase after that email comes through, maybe within 3 days, 4 days, but anything within the 7-day window of Meta. Meta is going to take that purchase and credit it to the first touch attribution of the ad. In many cases, the multi-touch attribution tools are going to give credit to the last touch point, and that last touch point is when it's going to tell you where it thinks that final system is going to be. So we can look at both of those as true, the last touch and the first touch, but we really want to make sure that we're getting to customers in that first touch, and did that actually lead to a sale? Were we able to get in front of them? Were we able to make an impression to surprise, delight them, encourage them to make a long-term decision? So again, this is going through some of the differences in how to make these decisions, and I want to make sure that we're creating an actionable outcome from this. So when Meta is telling you that your ROAS is, for example, a 3, and multi-touch attribution is telling you that it's maybe a 1.5 or 2, they're both correct. However, they're at different points of the funnel, and so it's really important to think of the top of the funnel and the first touch of that 7-day, especially when you have a lower consideration curve product. The higher part of your funnel with that 7-day attribution is going to be monumentally important in the fact that did you reach the right customer? Did you talk to them the right way? Was your creative good, accurate, interesting enough to drive that curiosity, to drive that desire, create desire, get them to click through and see what you're doing? And then on the mid funnel and lower touch funnel, we want to know what was actionable as well. So were they receiving the email? Did they sign up? Were they getting retargeted by ads? Did they come through a different channel and platform of ads and then click through and purchase, but then uniting that data? So using the multi-touch attribution tool with Triple Whale, partnered with other companies, could be that Angler is the one that we did the case study with. There's many others that are doing some sort of both probabilistic or deterministic data outcomes. You really can learn a lot more about what your ads are doing, where your money is spent, and how to overall increase your return on ad spend. I always like in these cases where I'm talking about something a little bit more technical to bury the lead a little bit. With Angler, we have generally been able to get about 15 to 30% higher performance by using this data integration with the models that we have. So there is a very powerful difference when you have that data united. I'll go into a couple more things. I'll leave this screen up just in general, so it's a better thing than you just having to look at my face. But the other part of increasing the customer data profile is think about like an Excel spreadsheet with, and I can't really show these to you because the only consumer data profiles I have are live files that would have actual consumer data on them. But as you have your rows and your columns. So how many columns of data, can you go across that show a behavioral set for you? So, if you have 7 to 10, maybe up to 15 or 20 that come through in Klaviyo and Shopify, for example, or in your ESP and Shopify backend. With that alone, you can make a lot of decisions. But imagine if you had 150, 250 columns that's enhancing that data profile. But what it does is it tells you a lot of the modeling of who your customer is, who's the highest value customer, who's the customer that's also able to purchase the highest amount in the first time, who's coming back and repurchasing at what frequency, creating the highest lifetime value. And as you're modeling that, then that's all first party real data. Then you can spin it up into some of these other audiences that there's multiple vendors for this, and create probabilistic audiences that will give you a superior looking like audience that mirrors the best performing customer, represents the higher likelihood of conversions for you, and aligns more closely with your specific campaign objectives. So it's giving you a much higher amount of enhanced personalization that you can have for your ads. This is really where 2025 is going to come back. So again, when a lot of the cookie degradation, pixel degradation over the last 3 years has happened, I think in 2025 we're going to see a massive reemergence of very specific both behavioral and targeting data that now aligns more with contextual targeting that we've had to do over the last few years, is coming back and going to be a very large presence that will give a gap between high top performing ad accounts and middle struggling optimizations on accounts. And if you're struggling in that optimization of your account, I think that you want to reach out and look to how are you going to enhance the data that you have on your customer, who you're targeting, who you're talking to, how you're talking to them, to create the best possible outcome for yourself in your marketing. So companies that are doing this are absolutely already ahead of the curve. And if you're not, start reaching out to some of these companies. Look at what data you have access to, first party and third party purchase data, and you'll be able to spin up the best audiences possible that will be fed back into Meta and other platforms and continue on from there. That's all I got for you today. We're doing the giveaway. I don't know if I put it in the box, but I wanted to make sure that I have it there. One of the clients we have on the call here, Echo Sigma, is they're going to give away a small survival bag for anyone who wins in the award. So thank you so much for your time today, and I hope that you have a very, very successful 2025.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to quickly go through the chat to pick the winner. All right. It looks like Cornelia Gell is the winner for this one. So thank you so much. Josh, thank you for your time. I know that there were some questions in the chat. So if you have a moment, if you could just go through those and provide some answers. And otherwise, Josh's info is right at the top of the chat. It's pinned, but you will also get it in your email afterwards. Perfect. All right.
Thank you. I'll kind of go down and see who we have here. Did you see any questions that you want to call out there?
Let's see. I saw some just above. One moment. I did see a lot of shout outs. But we are sort of
Cornelia, she was talking about how, oh yeah. No.
Yeah, we're sort of at time. So I'm going to let you just go through the chat. If you have a moment to respond, that would be incredible. And otherwise, everyone who has a question, if you don't get a response right now, again, his email address is right at the top of the chat, and you can actually absolutely reach out to him.
Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Okay, everyone. Thank you all for joining today. Before we leave, I have two really quick announcements. If you're interested in using Triple Whale, first of all, we actually have a free dashboard that you can use. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And secondly, if you love today's webinar, please join us for the next one on February 18th. You're also going to see the link to the RSVP to RSVP in the chat in just a moment. The topic for our next webinar will be retention is the new growth and how to scale with data-backed insights. I'm also going to post that in the chat, as I mentioned. And again, thank you so much. It's been such an incredible pleasure being your host today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Your participation is what makes these sessions absolutely possible, and we truly appreciate your engagement in making them both informative and interactive. Again, been such a pleasure being your host. If you have any questions, you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can even use my email address. And I wish you guys all the success for 2025. I mean, you guys have had such an incredible panel today. They are going to be your resources going forward. Reach out to them, email them, find them on LinkedIn. Do what you got to do. Book a demo with them, and we want to set you up for success. So again, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful year ahead.